Next up, it's Tiffany via email. My husband is looking to become a stay-at-home dad. I've heard about something called a spousal IRA. Do we need one of those or for him to keep our retirement savings on track? Well, maybe, Tiffany, and it's certainly simply an IRA opportunity for your husband to own an IRA. So when we say spousal, and it gets called a spousal IRA, but really it would be his IRA. He would be funding his IRA, but a lot of people don't realize, John, because the rule states you have to have earned income to be eligible to contribute to an IRA. But if you are filing a joint tax return with your spouse, even if you individually didn't earn any money during that year, you are still eligible to contribute to an IRA.
Well, and she talked about in this question to keep our retirement savings on track. I think that there's a lot of validity to thinking about if your husband is working and he has a 401k plan, you may want to consider rolling that over to an IRA. There's pros and cons to that, and we can send you out a little flyer that has all that information on it, a brochure that has all of that information on it about the pros and cons of rolling to an IRA. And what I think that it really does, in addition to all the other things, is it kind of keeps track of where that money is. 401k plans, once you leave an organization, you can almost forget about them, or they can forget about you. And by rolling that over to an IRA, you own that asset. You get that asset, statements mailed to your home. You are in control of the investments. You can put a different investment in if you don't particularly like the ones that you've got, or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of functionality there, but I would consider that to be the first thing that I would do. Now, going forward, your spouse can contribute up to the IRA limits into their IRA if they are not employed, as Scott said, as long as you are filing a married and filing jointly tax return.
Yeah.
And so, Scott, I think that's $7,000 a year that he can contribute to that IRA, even though he's not working. Obviously, that's going to come from the wife's money that is being generated from her job, but it's imputed over into his IRA. And if you're 50 or over, I think that figure goes up to $8,000.
Yeah, and if you're 50 and over and you're becoming a stay-at-home dad, God bless you. But if you are, yes, you have a $1,000 catch-up contribution. You can get even more into a retirement plan.
You hadn't figured that plan out yet, huh?
No, I haven't, for sure. But I would say a couple of things to look out for. First of all, if you are younger, if you're not 50, if you're significantly younger, I think thinking about a Roth IRA would be a great option here too. Assuming you're going down to one income, you're probably not going to hit the income limits that would make you ineligible for a Roth IRA, but you need to know about that too, so check that out. But it's over $200,000 a year, so well over. I think it's up to $240 now. So for married people, if you're making over $200,000 a year jointly, you may not be eligible for a Roth IRA. But if you are, I think that would be a great option here too, to begin one there for the stay-at-home dad, because he can get the same amount, $7,000 or $8,000 if 50 or over, into a Roth IRA. And as you may know, that grows tax deferred and can be withdrawn tax free. So there's no taxation on the Roth growth. Great option for you to have tax-free income in retirement. And then another thing I would say is don't opt for going all in on the spousal retirement plan without making sure you're getting the full employer match if you have a 401k available at your job, Tiffany, because that can be real easy, because people sometimes still think about, well, I've got a retirement money, but he doesn't have retirement money.
Right.
He needs some retirement money, but don't walk away from getting that full match first.
Well, and I think also this has to be in context with your plan. You've got to ask yourself, okay, this is my destination out here. This is where I want to get to. Here's where I'm at now. Can I still get there and do the stay-at-home dad thing? If that's the case, then great. And if you can't, then you may want to refigure that whole calculation, because financial independence is what you're working for. Financial independence is your ultimate goal. If you can't get to financial independence, then being a stay-at-home dad might not be the way that you need to necessarily go, because there is no do-over for retirement. There's a lot of do-overs on other expenses, but no do-over on retirement. You've got to fund your retirement yourself. Unless you have a pension, there's just not anybody sitting out there saying, hey, you know what? We're going to be sure that you're taken care of have as far as retirement is concerned. You've got to do it yourself. And so I think context is a big, big deal here.